Kept telling him, and he wouldn't listen to me, and I kept screaming at him, but it's like he like nothing was getting through to him until eventually I took his face and I said, "No, you don't understand. They really are doing illegal uh, transgender operations on illegal immigrants in prison."
Prison.
And it's just like it's over everybody's heads.
I believe you, and I keep telling
I've seen it.
I keep telling everybody at work.
I know, and I've seen it with my own eyes. And I was like, no.
And everybody keeps saying like you're gonna get fired, and I'm like, it scars you.
Yeah.
Seeing an alien having their genders aren't even like we can't comprehend their genders.
Yeah, and then they
like
wanna...
gender change.
Yeah.
And not to our genders.
No, but
to some other illegal alien.
And then they're just sitting there not knowing what's happening, and it's scarring them too. And like, the government,
I know.
It's goddamn lefties.
Goddamn lefties. But I think people aren't ready to hear this.
No, we need to, the truth will come out eventually.
The truth will come out eventually. I think, I don't know. It's really, it would be crazy to come out with this theory in like, I don't know, like a public debate or something.
That would be crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so let's record our podcast without bringing any of this up.
Let's start the podcast. So, you know how they say that thing?
What thing did I say?
Like when you step on a crack, you break your mom's back.
Oh my god, that is such a fun saying, and I have incorporated that into my everyday life because I talk about things that are so mother. My own mother is, she's my mother and I love her, but there's so many other things in my life now that are mother.
Yeah.
So I continuously have to skip the crack.
Yeah.
And it's
to be safe.
And Bihać is such a cracky town.
So oh my god, we should really talk about that.
So like, I basically, it's like jump rope.
Yeah, basically you have to just float over it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hard.
Kind of like if, okay, so let's say I lived in a big mansion and all I wanted was to be tall.
Yeah.
And then when I die, I finally become tall.
Yeah.
Because I felt so small in my life. And then I'm floating and I'm having like a stick to move myself. Anyways.
Anyway.
I want to talk about one thing first. We're going to have a special guest today because there's lies going around.
Oh, okay.
And there are inconsistencies. People are saying Dame Maggie Smith passed away. And it can't be because she's here with us in the studio.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, my name is Maggie Smith. People are saying these dreadful things about me that I died. And I didn't.
Oh.
I'm 89 right now.
And I will continue to be.
I will continue to be.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Maggie. That was lovely.
Yeah, lovely introduction. Great to have you here.
Have a fun day. But
it's funny because I'm looking at she's right there.
Looking at a different couch. I thought my Maggie Smith was better. Wait, let me just. Excuse me, we originated a language. You don't know a lot about Maggie Smith.
No.
She's Harry Potter fame.
No, I know, like,
she's Princess McGonagall. And then she was also in Downton Abbey, which is a show that you could watch. It's trash on the highest level. Yeah. It's made by, like, a British Ryan Murphy. Okay. Fuck him. He made, like, a movie that's like, oh, the Queen was actually sad about Diana dying. He's very, like, sucking their dicks. Yeah. So, like, Downton Abbey is about, like, this rich family from way back when. And it's like, we are here to give back to the community. And it's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
But it's a fun enough show to ignore all of that. And Maggie Smith is one of the best characters in there.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a weekend. What is a weekend? One of her daughters wanted to become a driver, and she's like, "You're a lady, not Toad of Toading Hall." One night, their clothes get dirty, so they dress in afternoon food wear and not evening food wear.
Okay.
And then she goes like, "Oh, can you fetch me a drink? I'm sorry, I thought you were a waiter." She is. It's unexplainable how good she is in the show, and yeah, it's sad that some people spread lies about her dying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just not,
I don't identify.
I don't, not at all. So how was your 2 weeks that we didn't talk?
We did not speak to each other at all.
No, I hate you.
Yeah. Nothing is happening in my life. And I feel like it does happen, but then, I got attacked by a man.
Oh yeah, tell us
That
about that.
happened. Well, okay, here's the thing. I had a thing happen like this a while back by another guy. He was old, so I'm like, whatever, I don't give a shit. It was our holiday by item,
Yeah.
right? And
Oh, you're going back.
I'm going back because I need to like set up a different scene here. First of all, that night the dog had diarrhea all night long.
Yeah.
So I just kept waking up throughout the whole night. Didn't like sleep for an hour. He, poor guy, doesn't have anything left in him to poop out, right? But he keeps doing the little squatty thing
Yeah.
because he's like, you know how diarrhea gets.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I take him out right before I'm about to go to work. It's at like 11 a.m. at that point, and I take him out just to see like, hey, he, if
Yeah,
you have
maybe.
anything, yeah. So he's doing a little squatty thing. Nothing's coming out of him. There's a guy at the window, like from a building nearby, and he's like, "Why don't you pick that up? You pick that up." Da-da-da. And I'm like, "There's nothing coming out of him. There's nothing to pick up."
Mm.
And then to another point, you have 40 different stray dogs running around here, all shitting, all pissing. To a third point, and then he made the point of like, well, children come out there to play, and I'm like, there's literal broken glass everywhere.
Yeah.
Because of hoodlums
Yeah.
that sit around drinking. And I'm not talking teenagers, I'm talking full 45-year-old men who have nothing better to do on a Wednesday night than go outside, drink beer,
And also
then
19-year-olds.
well, yeah, but like, and then break glasses there, uh,
Bottles.
bottles, and then there's glass everywhere, and then I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's like, I'm gonna call the cops, and then he starts filming me, and I do like a little hee hee thing. Whatever. Cut to the other day.
Well, you ran into him another time, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up?"
No, I ran into him another time, and then he's like, "Did you bring a baggie?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." Me thinking that he's gonna be like aggressive with me again, so I'm like, "Fuck you!" And then he just looks at the dog and he's like, "Hi, buddy." I'm like, what is happening? What? Anyway.
What has the world come to?
Yeah. So the other day, I'm walking the dog. Another thing, I didn't sleep all night, and these people always get me.
Mhm.
Not not because of the dog. I just couldn't sleep. So I'm walking, but he asked to go out, and it's like 7 a.m. and I'm without a bra on. I just shot out of bed and went outside.
Mm.
And then I do a little circle with him. He doesn't poop, and then right as I'm about to walk into the building, across from my building, he poops, and it's right like next to like a garage thing. But like, fuck off. I don't give a shit. So this guy's coming back with his car, and at that point, I walk past him like whatever. He gets out of his car and he starts instantly yelling,
Mhm.
"Pick up the dog poop!" Like da da da. And then I like walk the dog to the balcony. Then he runs from across the street, runs towards me, like beelines, like about to hit me. And I just kind of like let go of the dog a bit for him to be like to stand back, because he would, especially because we're right at the balconies. He doesn't let people come in. And he like stops back and he's like, "I'm gonna stand here and wait for you, and if you don't pick this up, I'm calling the police." And then I'm sitting there. I will pick it, and I fully tell him like, I will pick it up my own goodwill, because if the police come, they can't do shit about it. You know why? Because there are no laws about that. And you know why there are no laws about that? Because if there were, they would have to do something about the 40 billion stray dogs we have around here. And I'm just being like, call the cops, call them right now. Anyway, so he stands there, and I get the bag, I pick it up, because I'm still like a good Samaritan. And in that moment, he goes like, "Well, my kids come here, and when I walk my kids to the car, like they're gonna step into it." And I'm like, first of all, there's no need to yell at me.
Yeah.
You did it from the get go.
Yeah. By the way, I'm confused. Was it one of our neighbors or like the
no, like
neighbors
from the other
Okay,
building.
okay.
And he's like, and now he's trying, because he realized, I guess, that he overdid it, so he's trying to be like, "Well, you have to understand me too." And I'm like, "No, I don't."
It's
Cute.
if you understand that you overdid it, there's one thing to do.
Sorry.
Apologize. Say like, "Hey, I came from this from a wrong perspective."
Yeah.
Not being like, "Hey, I was right."
Yeah, I was right, and you should understand why I did that.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Fuck you. You're a dick.
No, listen to me.
Ran after me like that. You almost assaulted me. I went like, call the police. Call them. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that's stressful. I think this whole week and the previous one is just going from bad to worse. Of like a lot of things are happening with a lot of people I know, and it's just like Mercury has got to be in the microwave. Like
it's over boiling at this point.
Absolutely. Like somebody, please take it out.
Take it out of the microwave.
It's begging to be taken out.
It's sizzling.
Yeah, it's
love of God.
But other than that, I just don't want to come here and talk about like, ew, what's wrong with my work? Because there's not a lot wrong. I'm just very tired.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to go back into the swing of college and everything. So yeah, that's something. And that is stressful. We changed a few things, and the other day, like my boss called me out for not taking a call, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
So why did you tell me to do my work when I was at my work?
What do you mean, sir?
So yeah, not a lot has been happening with me also recently. I've started getting more into like shows, actual like pay attention-y shows. Yeah. Because I've been on a streak. I mean, I'm also watching Abbott Elementary. That's like, but I'm paying more attention than I do to like Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, The Simpsons, and Golden Girls. Because they're just like, I mean, I always pay attention to them, but like, I'll turn them on whenever the fuck I want to. Meanwhile, this one I'm watching like consecutively.
Yeah.
I'm also watching Midnight Club, another Mike Flanagan special. We will talk about Mike Flanagan well enough.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm getting back into that swing of things. I have, and it is. I hate admitting that it's because of somebody else's actions that I do something. But I saw a Brittany Broski clip of her being like, I see so many things that I loved doing, and now I'm like, I should do that again. But I'm just sitting on my bed, like wasting an hour scrolling through TikToks. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, because I used to not be that much on Instagram Reels. I'm not on TikTok. I'm on Instagram Reels. So, like, I used to be not on it that much, but recently it's just like, I don't want to feel. Yeah. So I'm like, even if I'm watching a brain rot show, rather do that than watch reels. Yeah. Like rather watch something long form because you will fall into this trap of like that's the only enjoyment you're gonna get. Like short, like haha next, span, haha next. Yeah. And I really had to sit down and be like, okay, like I'll do reels when I'm having a break from work because that's a true brain rot period. Yeah. That's like made for that. I need minus emotion. This is we're listening to a record of the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. My sister always says that this woman sounds like Just Police. Yes, this is correct. You'll hear like another one. It's this version of the song. It's for you guys who know. It's the ending theme of Cowboy Bebop, the real folk blues, and this is like a version where she's like, "Oh my God, being more soulful." The actual one, she's very Just Police. Yeah. But anyways. So I'm trying to wean myself off of reels, and I'm not gonna become like a person of like, oh, you're watching reels. Yeah. But I have caught myself a few times going, and then I'm like, oh wait, I told myself I'm not doing this. Like I'm saying, like I'm not gonna start reading Shakespeare. Yeah. But I'm like, I rather do something long form, and then you can once again go into like enjoying books more often. Yeah. Because I was gonna actually say we should do like a book club thing. We should do a book episode. Yeah, but like to actually like to set a date, be like, we're gonna talk. Like we give us 2 weeks and then. Okay. Should we do? We always said we could do a double feature of like 1984 and Animal Farm. But that's the thing. I forgot a lot about 1984, so we should do like. No, we'd reread it. Yeah. Okay. Like because I think I have both here because they're classic books, and my dad has a lot of classics. And after that, I'm thinking of reading because I bought it. Wow, you're really crackly. Anyways, I bought Stephen King's Misery, which is a great book. Yeah. It's the one. The movie adaptation is Kathy Bates. Yeah. Being like, he never got out of the cock-a-doodle car. Yeah. So and fun fact about that book, so Stephen King made a book for children, so he can give something to the children to enjoy. Yeah. And then everyone was like, "This is not Stephen King. Fuck you, Stephen King. Like this is not what you write. This is not a good book. Not your story." And then he made a book about a writer being chained to a bed by a crazy fan to write the ending that she wants. Yeah. I mean, come on. I love Stephen King. Yeah. So I do like Also, you're gonna have to read that Batman comic I gave you.
Okay.
That's at your place. Because it is like it's the height of comic books for me.
Mhm.
Well, of Batman comic books.
Mhm.
And I want to know your because I think you'll like it. It's a noir detective story,
Yeah.
and the plot twist at the end is Batman doesn't get the actual bad guy.
Oh.
And so it's like his second year working, and he's very inexperienced. And it's the long Halloween because like everybody keeps like all of the Batman villains are there,
Yeah.
so like you'll get to meet everybody.
Yeah.
But then it's this mystery of this. It's a mob story
Mhm.
of them getting killed one by one. So it's like who's the killer?
Yeah.
And then at the end, there's like, oh, this is the killer, but it's
Is
they
it?
did catch the correct guy.
Yeah.
But then at the end, from one of the guys, the wife goes like, "I always trusted you,"
Yeah.
and I always. So it was the wife killing the mob boss people just so her husband would come home.
Oh.
I mean,
Come on now.
come on now. And I hate the movie. They made like an animated movie. And usually they do the animated movies good. First of all, too many Godfather references because they were like we're making a mob story.
Yeah.
So they're like, and I made him an offer, you know. And then they all
Yeah.
laugh, and it's like not funny in the slightest
Yeah.
because you're ruining the atmosphere of the original text. But it's a lot. Anyways, that's also something that like I'm giving you a book where you're gonna get out of your comfort zone, and you're gonna give me a book where
Okay.
I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone. And let's not do Nora Roberts because like
Fuck.
I don't think we can talk a lot.
I think reading Nora Roberts is equivalent of scrolling through reels.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Out of the pot into the frying pan.
exactly. God.
Yeah, no, we can.
But I have a lot of respect for that woman, is all I'll say.
Absolutely,
You know,
I have.
it.
No, my thing that I currently hate about book world is that people are like, I am a mature book enjoyer, and I sent you that video of that one guy like the best opening sentences in books ever, and he's like, I knew I was going to die today, but I got out of bed anyway, and it's like, have some
decorum. Jesus.
have some. Every family is happy in the
Yeah.
same way. Every unhappy family is happy in their own way.
Yeah.
Have some. Šta se to bijeli gori zeleno je, da su labudove odletili su, da su snijezi istopili bi se. Ne, to šator Hasanage.
There you go.
So,
Make me feel.
you can't stand here and say, and I'm not going to be some pretentious ass being like, oh, just the classics.
Yeah.
But you're not going to tell me that some like emo line about like her knowing she's dying today.
Yeah, it's
just
gonna
for
be
the shock factor is more important than the stranger going like, my mother died today, or was it yesterday? I don't know.
Yeah.
Being like, I am so
out
of
of it.
reality.
Yeah.
And it like
No, it's always like whenever you quote something, if you can figure it out just by the quote, it's not a good quote.
It's not a good quote because it's a shock factory quote.
Yeah.
There are texts that are quotey. You know, Shakespeare, because like Shakespeare, every line of dialogue is a quote. They're talking, and Mike Flanagan, who we're going to talk about later, he is very like every line of dialogue is a pause. You know, every line of and it's like you got to make that. I hate it when it's like imagine the two of us talking, and then I just went like, you know, AI showed us that there's a soul to the humanity because it made art without one.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then people go, ooh, that line. And it's like, yeah, it's a good line.
Yeah.
But was it in good context?
Yeah.
Was it in good everything else? So I hate that people are like, oh, book talk. You know, like this is we're so above. We're so like we're enjoying this artistry. And it's like you are reading smut.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging you for reading smut. I'm judging you for putting yourself on a higher
pedestal. If you're gonna read
pedestal.
smut, read fun smut.
People read fun smut.
Okay.
People read like
no, but don't sell it as like
people read Omegaverse stories. Do you know what Omegaverse is?
I don't want to.
Men can get impregnated.
Okay.
It's a wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
Chat a bit. I gotta change the.
Okay.
Talk about books.
Talk about books. No, I want to get more into, because I I don't know why it's such a thing for me to start something, because I know I love it. I know I enjoy it. I know my life is so much better doing certain things. Not even like with just books. I'm like yoga. I love doing it. And every time I do it, I'm like, I don't know why I ever stopped.
Yeah.
And then I stop again, and then it's
Me
like,
with
nah.
exercising and Just Dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm recently I didn't get winded coming to get you from work with my bike, but my mouth was full of water.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I don't know what this is
Yeah.
because I'm not getting winded. I can do this for like
Yeah.
13 hours, but just literally it's like when I used to get drunk and I would dehydrate and then like
Yeah, I
like
know.
a lot of water would come into my mouth. It's not spit, it's just like around the lips, just like,
Yeah, water.
and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And it is a point of like I'm in a sort of a depressive episode right now where I'm just like, okay, done with work, walk the dog, get home. But I'm like, at least I want to make some steps, even in my limited
Yeah.
atmosphere that I have now. Even like I said, stopping watching because I'm telling you, reels are for like when you're at your job.
Yeah.
Because you get a call, you turn off that phone,
Yeah, and
you
just do it.
put it away, and you start continuing. So and I just wanna have things that are fulfilling
Yeah.
again. Because even a lot of the games that I play, I'm not playing games that demand your attention. I mean, I'm playing games that demand your attention, but like it's a second nature to me, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like when you're driving.
Yeah.
Like you're just you know how to drive.
Yeah.
You're not. You can do 30 other things and you can
Yeah,
drive.
yeah.
But like I'm not playing games where it's like everything else is off
Yeah, I
and
have to
this game is
focus.
on
Yeah.
and I'm following the story. So I'm trying to play more like BioShock and shit like that. Because I am falling into a trap of just passing on by.
Yeah. There's also a lot of things that are like brain rot is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Cause I remember like the other night I went in like an old group chat we used to have and like went through the pictures and videos of how we filmed and shit.
Yeah.
That made me feel so like I read a book. You know what I mean?
That is not brain rot to me.
No, I know it's not, but it's a
It's
very
going
like
through memories.
yeah. But it's like I want to do stuff like that more, where it's genuine, like oh, even if it's that like the smallest thing.
Yeah, journaling.
Yeah, something where it's just genuine. Also, there are so many videos. I was so obnoxious as a teenager.
I know, me too.
But now seeing it, I'm cringing at myself so much. Like
If
every
you don't
video,
if you don't cringe at your past self, you're
I
not
know,
moving
but
forward.
every video
We
I've
have
filmed,
we have a person in our lives who doesn't cringe at their own selves.
yeah, which is sad. No, but I'm looking through all the videos that I'm filming, and like you can't hear anybody else. It's just me going like, shut up, calm down,
You see a picture of
take a
like
chill pill.
any group activity in high school, and
Yeah.
it's me in the back jumping.
Yeah,
you
like
know? Yeah.
calm the fuck.
And it's like when you're in that group, sure. But
Yeah.
like
No, I mean it's fine when you're a teenager. You're just that person. It's like whatever. But God, it's embarrassing.
it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing to look back at it, but there's also like fun memories to be had there because there's a lot of I think for both of us our high school relationships are severely dead or like
Yeah.
very limited right now. Because like I now have like two friends from high school left over. But I mean, I also have another friend, but he wasn't in my high school.
Yeah.
Outside. Um, and then it's like so much of my time is filled hating the people that did me wrong.
Yeah.
But I can take some time to remember the nice times we had.
Yeah.
You know, I have a photo album like close to my table, and the other day at like work, I flipped through it and
Yeah.
it's quite nice. And there's like it's weird that now we don't have stories to tell. Like we have like going to the concert and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but like we have much less stories to tell from now than we have as
Yeah, from teenage.
teenagers.
Yeah, that's the thing. I track, but it was a thing of yeah, I was obnoxious and everything, but I know how much fun I had, and that's still a beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah,
And it's like
and all the other people were obnoxious too.
yeah,
If it was like if we were acting like that now when we went to like an adult event,
yeah, I'd be like shut the fuck up.
fuck
Yeah.
no. But like back then, everybody was just finding their own ways to be themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it is it is a complicated thing in this day and age of like That's what I love talking about, like video games and movies, because it's like even this that used to be like this took our attention.
Mm-hmm.
Even this is something that we miss right now.
Yeah.
Because we don't have our attention on it right now.
Yeah.
We don't want to think. We don't want to have a single thought in our heads. Yeah. And that is completely fine to have every now and then.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to do that to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But like, at what point are you just surviving?
Yeah, at what point it's just like you're stuck in it, and
Yeah.
then what are you? No, but it's a, and even when I do have like moments of genuine like, oh, this is something that I'm thinking of, it's never about me.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, the political state of the world right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a discussion about Charlie Kirk and like, all this crap. And I'm like,
And I'm not in that at all.
yeah, I'm very in it, and I'm so like, no, but it's like a thing of I get, it's kind of like doing drugs instead of running.
You get riled
Yeah.
up.
It's that, but look, this is a really good analogy just to think of. Like, you run and you get a runner's high, and it's good for you, and you feel that moment. Or you could just do cocaine. Like, it just feels like that for me, where I'm like, okay, let's just do cocaine. Like, that's what it feels like. I'm not.
Angry.
Let's just like like, I get the excitement, but I'm like, it's not thing.
Which
doesn't matter.
It's good that we have this podcast because once a week we have to comment about a thing that our attention was on it.
Yeah.
Where it was like we're really attentive, we are really commenting on something, and it's usually like today it's a show, usually it's a movie,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a person, and it's like it is this thing that
Yeah.
we sat and watched together, but then like why can't we do shit alone anymore?
Yeah.
Why can't I sit down? How many times have I sat down and been like, I'm gonna watch a movie, and then I went through my like Disney Plus list,
And watch Bob's Burgers.
and I end up watching Bob's Burgers,
Mhm.
and I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Actually, not even watch Bob's Burgers because I put Bob's Burgers on in the playground and then play like a brain
Yeah.
rotty type game,
Yeah.
which I respect. All kinds of games. I love arcadey games, but you can't just play arcadey games.
Yeah.
You can't just play Fortnite all the time. So it is a thing of you are stuck in this thing of like I don't want to start something.
Yeah.
Because I saw Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, a movie I want to watch
Yeah.
so much. So many movies are on my list. Let me just check on my list right now and how many good movies I saw. But it was also that day was a very, very depressive day. So it was a thing of I don't want to. So there's Working Girl, there's Logan, Chronicle, Sister Act.
I love Sister Act. Did you never see what's?
I've never fully seen.
Oh my god!
Cut scenes.
So fun.
Yeah, there was one movie that I was like, it really encapsulates this because I was like, it was Dead Poet Society.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yes. Let's watch that. We don't have to now, but like.
But we can finish Blind Manor, and if we're up for it,
yeah,
watch it. The thing is, I was like, I want to be a bit sad.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel this very specific emotion, and nothing filled that emotion, so I chose to feel nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel too sad and watch Dead Poet Society. Also, Dead Poet Society often annoys me because my dad loves that movie.
Okay.
And he is like, whenever there's a school thing,
because he thinks he's that.
He thinks he's that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And it's like, no, you're not, and you don't get this movie.
Yeah.
So I have to watch it in a movie where I can really dissociate that part and just watch. And I have a hard time watching Robin Williams. You know that.
Yeah.
So I was just, but then like 9 to 5, Working Girl.
Yeah.
Those are like fun movies, but I was like, I want this one specific emotion or nothing.
Yeah.
So I chose nothing.
Yeah. And that's just sad.
It is sad. It is. I mean, I'm in general not a big movie guy because I don't want my life to be changed in 2 hours. Movies are so condensed, and that's the way it needs to be done. Yeah. Movies, but like, gonna take Perfect Blue for an example. I love Perfect Blue because so long I haven't seen like anything good.
Yeah.
And then Perfect Blue was just so like. I think you should measure people's heart rates when you're watching. For people who get it.
Yeah.
No, sister. Because the whole time you're just like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but what?
Yeah.
But what? Okay. And then at the end you're like, aha.
Yeah.
There's a big aha moment because movies can be just confusing and then have a bad ending.
Yeah.
Fuck that. But I watched Long Legs.
Mm-hmm.
I was very underwhelmed with the ending
Okay.
because it got set up as this like great like detective story, but then it
Yeah.
was just the devil.
Yeah.
But I found a perfect YouTuber through it who made like a video like long list was just meh, and I was like, oh, thank you.
Thank you
And
so
he
much.
is so handsome,
Hmm.
and he made a video about Brad Summer, and that's what made I'm going to admit here, that's what made me give Brad a chance
Okay.
because he wore a tank top, and I
There
was
you
like,
go.
I am going to watch 12 minutes of this video, and there's 2 points that he made. One is very emotional, like Charlie made a song about Sophie, the girl who like used to make all her music. I mean, you was a big like ahead of her time musician who
Mm-hmm.
died, and then it's like you would always tell me stay to eat dinner, and I would always find an excuse.
Yeah.
So and he had like that was a very emotional moment for him. But then my favorite was that the chorus of Apple, the Apple
Yeah.
Brand, the chorus of that song is just her repeating the words "the airport."
What?
So it's like I think the gonna drive the airport,
The
the airport, the airport.
work.
Um, I do not like Brad Summer because of drugs.
Yeah.
We know a
Which is
person.
fair.
We know a person who relapsed because of Brad Summer.
Yeah. So
Like, and I'm not being like personal because I don't care about that person that
yeah.
much. But it's like I know somebody who did, and if I know somebody who did, a
A
lot
lot
of
of people
people.
did. Yeah.
So, but hey, the airport.
No, my thing also what I realized lately is that my big issue with not doing stuff is food. And I genuinely believe that it's
Oh, you skip meals because you don't want to make food.
no, it's I whenever I'm full, I don't want to do anything that's gonna make me feel. I don't understand it either, and I didn't make the connection of it at all until a girl in TikTok said it.
Okay.
And she was like, "I just made dinner and I don't want to eat." And she keeps repeating like it's not an eating disorder thing. It's not like I'm not doing this out of that. It genuinely like I hate the feeling of being full and not like stuffed. I'm not being
Yeah.
like just eating and feeling like full. It's just I hate it. I hate like it's a thing. And
Okay.
like in my head too, like whenever I sit down, like if I eat and then I'm just like whatever, I don't want to do
I
anything now.
really don't understand it because
I know
I am so the opposite.
yeah.
I am,
So I feel
and I
like
don't think I don't. I'm so the opposite in a way that I don't think regular people are.
mhm.
I love food, and food is what gets me going.
Yeah.
Food is like I'm like okay, I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna work out for like
Yeah.
2 hours. You know, I'm just
You're
that.
fine with that. No, for me it's very like if I eat and then I love like
So, is it comparable to a food coma?
kinda
Okay.
most like but it's like I can eat a chocolate bar and feel the same way. Like I love whenever my stomach is like empty, then I'm like, oh, I want to paint. Like I get that, and
Wow.
when I eat, I'm just like nothing feels magical anymore. I can't explain it, and I'm
That
really
is so
I
weird.
know, and I never thought about it until she said it, and I was like, oh my god, that's my problem. So I don't know. She said it's like what's not texture, but like a like a thing. I don't know.
Sustenance thing.
But so I want to do like wean myself off of eating. No, but I'm also doing like a sober thing, that
Yeah.
for like a month. And I'm really gonna be completely honest here. It wasn't a decision I made being like, okay, now I'm gonna do. It was a thing of like, so
Just to prove me.
not
Me,
even
literally me.
literally you and nobody else. But I was like, Amala came over and we drank, and it was okay. So it was was like I'm gonna do a financially responsible thing, and I'm gonna drink what she drinks. And we bought gin because she drinks that, and I never drank gin before,
Gin is a sad drink.
and I never, you know, there hasn't been an alcohol that so we did like I did 2 glasses, but not of gin. It was like a little bit of it and then a lot of juice. I did
Okay.
2 of those, threw up
Mhm.
horrendously. I have never like I've thrown up once before that
I've
when
I've
Hana.
never tangoed with gin.
It's like no, it's like I didn't throw
Gin
up
is for like
just
Brad Summer people.
yeah, and I never threw up since high school. I haven't thrown up just from alcohol. There was that thing with Hana, but that was because I took Xanax and alcohol.
Yeah, no, that was a mix. That was a tonic.
But yeah, so I was like, no, that felt awful, and then I ruined my whole weekend with it. Just feeling like awful. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna drink this weekend. I'm not gonna drink the next one. And I was like, okay, I might as well make this a thing of like for a month. And then I was like, and I'm gonna prove to all of you, I do not have a problem with alcohol. But I'm feeling good. I like not, because I don't get hungover. I just get a weird feeling in my mouth, and I hate it.
Oh, like
biting. I have to bite my.
I know what you
mean.
And
I hate that.
You know how my friends used to know when the alcohol kicked in? I did this.
Yeah.
No, not not like, so we're doing biting.
Yeah.
And I do like a hump. Hum.
Yeah.
Hum. So, by the way, we haven't mentioned we're in a new space.
Oh yeah.
We didn't move. We just came to my apartment because my parents aren't here, and I wanted to my cat not to be alone and feed him and everything. So we're listening to like from my father's amazing surround sound, but we can't listen to a lot because to not interrupt the recording.
Yeah,
but
we're professional.
Because we're professional, we're doing everything for you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean, but I don't, because I have you have a. I always said it was high functioning.
Yeah.
I whatever you have with alcohol, I don't think it's a normal relationship, but I think it's a relationship that it's not actively killing you or making you have worse decisions in your life.
Yeah, or like not. I've never been hungover and called off work.
Yeah,
I'm still
that's what I mean.
responsible.
Never had a bad decision in life. Never had and you're never like, oh my god, I need a drink right now.
Yeah.
You are very mom whiny.
Yeah, mom whiny, and I realized that the only thing I might have with alcohol that could be a bit of a problem is that I really use it as like a social lubricant.
Yeah.
So so it's like I get why Amra was like, oh, I'm kind of scared for, because every time she's around, I drink.
Yeah.
And not even, and I love her. It's not like a thing of I'll have more fun with her if I drink. It's just I don't know.
I need something in my hands, even though you already smoke.
I already smoked cigarettes. But the one thing that did calm me down with it is realizing, which is, I really had it in my head of if somebody told you can never drink again, I'd be like, okay, I'm never drinking it. If somebody was like, you can't smoke again, all right, I'm chopping your head off. I'm chewing your head off. Everybody. So I know okay, addiction is different.
Your because I think alcoholism doesn't necessarily involve addiction to alcohol.
Yeah.
So I'm your alcohol journey is multi-layered and multifaceted. And
my mental health.
Yes. And so I was like, it's a thing that I don't fully understand, so I comment a lot about it because I'm I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But for instance, for me, it was a very clear and present no. For me, it's just you should not drink, and you will not have fun drinking. You will continue fucking yourself up more with alcohol, and I will my alcoholism problem didn't come that far because I was able to be okay, and that's stop. It. I never had I had one moment of weakness, but it was a sobering thought, to be honest, and it was now whenever I get too sad, I never go oh my god, I should get another drink.
Yeah.
I think because recently, I mean, a year or two ago, was it? The whole thing with Amar. Yeah. It was so I had a huge fight. I mean, not a huge fight, a very emotional, rational conversation with my friend,
which is just the worst.
Steered into the negative, because if it's oh fuck you, you're dumb.
Yeah, then that's
whatever.
Yeah,
it's whatever. But this is we both did the best.
Yeah, we did everything right, and it didn't work.
Yeah. And then I was just oh my god, I'm gonna go drink, and you were okay, and I'm glad for two things. It reminded me that I shouldn't, and it showed you that I shouldn't.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was me on the toilet, and you took away my phone, which nobody ever did. Congratulations. And then I was just Selma, I gotta text him. And you're what do you want to say that you didn't say before? And I was I just have to
things and stuff.
Say how I care and how much I care, and it's like how much I drank when I fully close my eyes.
Yeah,
Because when you open your eyes, it's
and it's funny because we drank the same amount. The problem was, and I was so like flabbergasted. First of all, I make my like I drank wine, white wine.
we had the 5 liter one.
Yeah,
Also, I drank straight. You didn't.
that's what I was gonna say. So I drink white wine and I drink it with a juice because I'm a child. I can't
Either since that's or you never do sparkling water.
because it doesn't taste sweet. I like it when it's sweet.
Why don't you do rum?
Because rum I can do only if I have a shit ton of ice in it, and I have that with a lot of drinks where I'm like, if it's like a hard liquor, it has to be really cold, so I don't even taste the liquor. I just taste cold. I don't know. It's
No, my thing is also with my alcoholism. I really loved and appreciated alcohol, like as
yeah.
a taste, as a.
And for me, it was like I was a firm believer of nobody likes the taste of alcohol ever. I was so like you just drink because of
I
gets
come
you
from a
drunk.
family of like wine enthusiasts from my dad's side,
Yeah,
and so I was always like, oh, there's a thing to this, but I'm not like the most expensive wines were just like
yeah.
drinking vessels to me, but like Jägermeister, Pelinkovac,
Mm.
Vishnyevacha, rum were all very like I drank them all not to be like, oh my god, I'm mixing and getting drunk.
Mhm.
I love the taste of it.
Okay, well, I hate it.
Yeah.
But
So you
so
were doing a mixing
I was
thing.
doing a mixing thing, but it was also funny because we would go and I would pour myself a glass, I would pour you a glass.
Yeah.
You would chug yours, and then be like, when you go to get your next one, you'll pour some for me.
You did this thing of saying like I can pour you another glass, and I'm like, you not finishing yours instantly is the only thing that's stopping
Keeping
me.
yeah.
Tell the story. I'm gonna change the records.
So it was hilarious because he would chug it all, and I'm taking my time, I'm sipping it, whatever. And I'm a fast drinker too. It's not like I'm like 2 glasses and it gets me through the night. Like no, I'm drinking it but like juice. Like I'm not gonna chug juice either. Anyway, so we're doing that, and then by the fourth one, you start being like, and I'm still like laughing. I don't care. I'm having a blast. And then you get up and you need to throw up. And you're throwing up, and this was the funniest thing to me. You're throwing up and you're dying, and I sit down at the like doorstep, and I'm sitting down and I'm just casually sipping my wine and watching you. Projectile vomit everywhere. And then you get up, you turn around, you're like, I need to shit. And then you sit down and you're pooping. And I'm still drinking my wine right there next to you. And you're just falling over, and I'm trying to like keep you, and I'm holding your head. And then the infamous moment occurs.
The infamous moment that's mentioned on every first date.
Yes. You're just swaying back
It's
and
funny
forth.
because that's your most important moment for me. It was just like, Selma, I have to tell him something. And you're like, what? But the phrasing of the sentence, what do you need to tell him that you didn't say before? And I was like,
Wow.
I'm stumped.
I wipe your ass.
Yeah.
I wipe your ass, and then I get you up. You're butt naked, and I'm just like taking you to the bedroom, and I just put you on the bed. I'm
Plopping
not
on the bed.
dressing you.
Ladies and gentlemen, ground floor.
Ground floor.
Her bedroom has windows. We did not install curtains yet.
Mm-mm. So it's just anyone who passed by has seen
Had the opportunity to just turn and see
either your ass
naked
or your.
And to be
wiener.
honest, I am sad that nobody took a picture and it went viral or something.
I know.
Because I feel like that would be like an ethereal photo.
Yeah, just beautiful. No, I covered you, but by the time
I was very like a soft porn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I woke up and like one of the legs was covered.
Mm-hmm.
The other was out.
Yeah.
The ass was out. There was an arch with my back.
There was an artistry to it.
Yeah. And then from the outside, because of the bed sill,
Yeah.
my face wouldn't have been visible, which is great because I was fully like mouth open.
Yeah. Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I slept on the couch. It was a fun night. I don't know. I had a blast. But
you agreed.
I agreed.
I probably shouldn't.
But do not do that no more.
But hey.
Yeah.
What did we do last week?
What did we do?
on like Friday to Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not. Let's check how much we recorded. I kind of have this thought like maybe we didn't record it all. Jesus.
Jesus.
But I'm not a binger.
Okay.
I watch like actually like with myself I am, but like not to not to the speed where you and I'm gonna binge.
Mm-hmm.
I have there was only one show that I saw in one sitting, and surprisingly, it was OJ versus the People.
Yeah.
But like with I think the first time I watched the Haunting of Hill House, I did it one episode every night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very Haunting of Hill House is a great show that we're about to talk about.
Yes.
So, I watched the show maybe a few years ago, and I was like, "Oh, I think this is just some Netflix bullshit."
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching it, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually good," but good in a way of like, this show is not. I wouldn't call it prestigious.
Okay.
It's a show of like good writing and good acting, but it is not like if you're mature enough, it doesn't make you rethink your life.
Yeah.
It's not a thing of. It's not
No,
trying
it's really
to do
it
anything.
is a show for everyone. That's a good show.
Yeah, for like to like preteens to adulthood.
Yeah.
It's and it really makes you feel everything, including being scared, including
Yeah.
being people. I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I don't get about the show is that people are like, it's terrifying. I got scared in like one scene and that's it.
Yeah. And
I'm a veteran though
yeah.
of the
No, I
horror.
think the whole thing with it, I think is one of the first like mainstreamy ones that had the like
That were
ghost
pure.
is in the background, but you might see it or not, and then
Yeah.
when you do see it, you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it was a rare like of like actual horror being mainstream.
Yeah,
Because American Horror Story is
culty.
it's very far removed from horror.
Yeah, it's just
It
camp.
was in the mainstream and it is camp and it is bloody, it is all of these
Yeah.
things, but it's not like actual it's not Candyman, it's not
Yeah.
Scream, it's Chucky.
Yeah, it's Chucky. Yeah.
So it was weird. So does this show talk about motherhood?
Oh boy, does it. It sure does.
The Haunting of Hill House is a show written and directed by Mike Flanagan, and we are currently watching what we're probably going to talk about next week.
Yeah,
Haunting of Bly Manor. So it started off as like an American Horror Story thing of like the haunting of,
Yeah.
but then he decided to stop it. He stopped his contract with Netflix, and now he's going to go to Prime Videos.
Okay.
So he made a lot of movies. He made Oculus, which I watched recently, which is like the cataclysm of Haunting of Hill House. Like, there's a lot of ideas from that were incorporated into Hill House. He does this great thing with horror that it's like, it's more about grief. It is more
Yeah.
about
No, it's a story that's been told time and time again, and it's a great like storyline to have because you can make something so much different.
yeah,
Like you can, some might argue
yeah.
that the first season of American Horror Story is somewhat of the same story.
It is the same story,
Yeah.
but done so horrendously
So
bad.
yeah. And then this is the same story
And
that's
so
done
like
so well.
brain rotty that it resonated with
Yeah.
so many people of like, oh my god, I'm edgy for liking
Yeah.
this. Meanwhile, Haunting of Hill House, it's like, and it's I do not partake in a lot of supernatural stories.
Mhm.
It's weird because my favorite is The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But like that's usually what comes with supernatural horror is demons.
Yeah.
Hauntings, ghosts, and ghouls are somewhat outdated
Yeah.
because they were like written in Victorian times and shit like that. So now, do you have to tell a ghost story if it's not made in a different way?
Yeah.
And he didn't fully make it in a different way. He
Yeah.
was just like, I'm going back to the roots of being like, ghost stories are at their core human stories.
Yeah.
And I actually watched a movie recently that correlates to it. It's called A Ghost Story.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just, and it gets a bit presumptuous.
Yeah.
It is
It
very,
insists upon
it
it.
insists. I kid you not. You will watch it and you will get what it insists upon itself means.
Okay.
There's a move. There's I think a 7-minute scene of Rooney Mara eating cake.
Okay.
I mean, eating like something that because her husband dies,
Uh-huh.
and then somebody gives her like something to eat, and it's like a 7-minute scene that doesn't get cut. Like,
Okay.
the camera doesn't change. It's just her eating and like getting like
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that, but then there's like a monologue that lasts 7 minutes about a thing that I already know.
Yeah.
And that I have talked about as a teenager.
Mhm.
So I'm like, shut up. But it's this guy dying, and he's a ghost, and it's just in a sheet.
Yeah. There you go.
And like nobody sees him, and he's in the
Yeah.
back, and he doesn't talk through the whole movie. I mean, he talks when he was alive, but through the whole movie, he's just in the back, like,
I'm a ghost.
what? And he haunts the house. He doesn't haunt Funimara.
Yeah.
And he gets sad that she moves on, but like, he's more connected to the house than he is. And there goes a soundtrack, and it is some aspects of it get pretentious. So I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But like, the simple part of the stories are
Great. Yeah.
original and very well told.
Yeah.
And then that's like the other way of going with ghost stories, being like, let's make it something that it entirely isn't, and
Yeah.
But this is like, it's a story about a family of 5 kids
Yeah.
and 2 parents moving into this house, and every horror cliche is perfectly explained.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not moving out? Because they have to flip the house to
Yeah.
sell it. There's a lot of like, why are these idiots staying here? There's a good reason
Yeah.
for everything. And then they all turn into adults who have very many issues.
Yeah.
So, since the episodes have
yeah.
one for every character, let's talk about every character.
Okay. Should we?
We start with
line?
Stevie.
Okay.
So Stevie, you don't like Stevie.
I do not like Stevie. Here's my thing with Stevie.
People don't like Stevie and Shirley. That is the grand.
Why not Charlie?
Opinion. Why not Stevie?
Let me tell you. Wait, Shirley is the mom. The
one with the
funeral
home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can understand why people are not a big fan. But if I had to choose,
the thing with both Stevie and Shirley is they're both very tight wound, and they're like, I don't believe the ghosts.
Yeah, but Stevie has more of that because that's his whole, like, you. Oh my God, you made a whole career out of telling ghost stories, and the whole thing that you're doing is running around saying you are dumb for believing in this. Fuck you. Shirley at least is like, I feel like with Shirley it was more so like I'm disassociating from it. I don't want to think about it because it will destroy me if I do. So I'm just gonna not.
No,
he's just being a dick all of the time.
He is being a dick all of the time, and I get that. But they all have these different defense mechanisms, and all of these defense mechanisms make them, first of all, worse, and second of all, more immature people.
Yeah.
Because, like, imagine if you know where your cigarettes.
I don't know. You talk. I'll find them.
Imagine if Shirley wasn't played by a charismatic, beautiful, not Shirley, Theo wasn't played by a charismatic, beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. She would have been so annoying. You know what I mean?
Would she? What was her annoying act?
That she threw everybody out. She was just a frat boy. She put herself above a lot of people, being like, the only like good part about her was her psychiatry and her treating of children. Yeah. But other than that, like, they all have these very bad attributes to them that come from them projecting. But let's do it one by one.
Yeah.
So Stevie is fully like, nope.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. And I am, what's it called when you give your life? Dedicating my life to being like, this is a thing that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Except I'm gonna do this book.
Yeah.
That is because I need money.
Yeah.
Because I'm selfish.
Yes. And like, not for a second, one of the most important parts of that whole dialogue with him is the fact that he said, if any of you have a problem with anything I wrote in the book, tell me. And then Shirley comes, hey, I have a problem with you telling this. And he's like, no.
Yeah. No, it is.
Fuck you.
No, but they're all, my thing is that I still love Stevie. I'm not being like, he's my problematic fave.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of the kids
are problematic in their own way.
All problematic in their own way, have their own thing.
Yeah, but I can understand all of them.
I can understand Steve too.
I can't.
I can understand Steve too. First of all, you need the money. Everybody got successful in their own right.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that, but don't run around and tell everyone that they're crazy over this thing, because
But it's his projection. It is his defense mechanism.
Yes, but for everybody else, their defense mechanism was very like self
Theo kept throwing people out.
Yeah, but it was for her.
Those brick walls.
those gosh darn walls.
But
No, but
it did affect the people around her.
Sure, and
Shirley
his
didn't think she had a relationship with her. Meanwhile, Theo, everything was doing was for Shirley.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, every single kid did what they did affected the others, obviously, with the drug problem and what's her name? Nellie. Like everything had their own like effect on the rest of the family, obviously. But with him, it was a direct attack. I'm attacking you. I'm attacking everyone in this family, and mostly I'm attacking the dad because it's like
he had every right to do so. I hate the dad. No,
the only reason you like Stevie is because you really hate that.
No, I mean, I think I would like Stevie nonetheless because, first of all, he was my favorite kid.
Well, yeah, as a kid, he was adorable.
Yeah, and then it's like I can still see that kid hiding behind there, and I think you can make it. Because I think he is kind of the main character of the show because he has the most journeying to do.
Yeah,
he has the biggest journey to walk through and the biggest self-realization to him.
Who's Nellie?
Nellie is, she's like Haley in Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say that Claire is the main character. I would say that Haley's the main character. So like, I feel like a lot of people would say that Stevie is the main character because the first episode's about him, and a lot of the parts are followed through him, and he is the one being like ghosts aren't real.
Yeah.
Which somebody who watched this show, usually would think that ghosts aren't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Stevie, there's a lot of problematic aspects to it. But Stevie is very angry at his dad because he was dad's favorite.
Yeah.
And then dad went ahead, didn't tell them. I'm angry at the dad because he is a father.
Yeah.
He fucked up, and you said that I'm projecting, and I'm like, yes, I am to an extent. But it is, even if I had a perfect relationship with my dad, I would be like, still equally mad at the father because you are a father and you hid these things from your kids and you handled everything so wrongly.
Yeah, but there's
and
intent to it.
And you have your wife in your head telling you what to do correctly that you are imagining. So you know what you're doing wrong, but you keep doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I can push that away from like young adults, from like these scarred children, but not from their father. No, you were an adult when it happened.
Yeah, but it's also a thing of like there is an intent to protect them the whole time.
I understand.
And it's like I think,
but it also
there's course of action to do this in order to protect them from. But then at some point you have to see that how their lives turn out. You might have been wrong.
You might have been very wrong, and you might have been not protecting him in a good way, and
you did it in a very
bad. And you hate Aunt Janet
for whatever reason
because she had custody of them because you were
not
crazy. No. Yeah. Anyways, Shirley is the second child, and she's the second most hated in the community.
Okay.
I like Shirley. I like because I feel like faced with such a traumatic event, it's how I would be.
Okay.
I feel like I would be tightly wound, like everything perfect, everything in order. Because I don't relate to any of the other kids. I relate to Stevie's like anti-religious ways, but I relate to Shirley in a way of like this is how I would break down. Because there's that scene when it's Nellie's funeral, where he's like, he reacts very weirdly to seeing he sees Nellie's corpse for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, yep, this is her detective. Take it in. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know why I said this.
He goes back and she's like, I changed every light bulb in the house today.
Yeah.
I don't know
what I'm doing either.
And that's why I love Shirley. As a kid, I don't care about her that much. I feel like it's trauma for me because I blocked out the whole kitten thing. Okay. So I'm like, oh, what do you mean she had a childhood story? She didn't have a childhood story. That's weird. Her episode was just about her as an adult. But no, I think there's a good reason to hate Shirley too, because she was like, she was angry at her husband for lying, for taking the money. Meanwhile, she cheated. Yeah. And hid that from him. Yeah. For such a long time. So I understand where the hate towards her is coming from. But I'm not taking part in that. Yeah.
No, I feel like when you really okay, so let's just decipher if you've seen the show, you've seen the show. I'm not.
We're not doing the podcast. Yeah. On this podcast, we're not talking about the
yeah, because whenever we try to, and we're like, and then this happens, and then like whatever.
Because there's a I remember my teacher in high school in the fourth year when we switched Bosnian teachers for like the third time. She was like, "You are not here to tell me what this book is about. I mean, you're not here to tell me the contents of this book.
Yeah.
You are here to tell me what you felt
Yeah.
with this book."
Exactly.
Because she's like, "I know about Anna Karenina. You don't have to tell me about Anna Karenina. Tell me what Anna Karenina meant to you."
Yeah.
And then I told her about what Čekaj Godoa meant to me, and I got a 3. And then didn't like the book.
Well, here's the thing. So when it comes to Stevie, I just want to go back for a second.
Okay.
His whole mental state was, I will shit on this. I will put myself above everyone because I'm better than you, because I don't believe in this thing that you all believe in. And he just is going with that constantly. But then you're also profiting off of that, lying to people because you don't believe in it. So it's like it is a lie. And then also, if you don't believe in it, you will make up shit.
But he's the only one who can sell the book because the rest are. So, like, Luke and Nellie are the most affected by it.
Yeah.
Theo is a 50-50.
Yeah.
Shirley doesn't believe it, but she, like.
I feel like Shirley
is there's a scarcity towards her.
Yeah.
And he is so adamantly opposed to it that he can shit on the events of their childhood.
Yeah.
He's the only one who can write the book.
No, I know. I agree with you on that. I'm like, but you shouldn't have.
I'm not saying you're
just a shitty person.
And I think everybody would say that we should.
Yeah, so it's
I'm not defending Stevie. I'm just saying, like, as a character, I still think he's well written, and I can still watch him and enjoy him.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a character in Blind Manor who I think is like, I get the point of writing this character, but I'm just so uncomfortable seeing the character on screen.
Yeah. No, but then if you take that same like idea to Shirley, it's not her denying it as much as it's her like mentally controlling it, being like, if I cannot control the situation, so I'm just gonna pretend it never happened. And she's just genuinely just trying to be like, okay, everything is fine, and like, let's not talk about that, and like,
her whole thing is I can fix this
it
that she took from her father.
Yeah. And it's running around being like, I can fix this, and then even when she's talking about her job, which is to like,
she's
involvement, the dead people and everything. She's like, and I fixed them. Yeah, I fixed them so they look pretty. And it's just constantly that. So I get her 10 times more than I get him.
Yeah, no, I get
because she's
and
even
Shirley's
with the whole
my second least favorite. I'm gonna be honest here, but I relate to Shirley the most.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I get all of the kids.
Yeah,
I don't get the dad. That's why I'm so angry at him. And the mom, I don't think we ever see an accurate representation of the mom.
Okay,
but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
With Shirley, I'm like, I am, even when the whole, like, even aside from the whole house thing that happened when she cheated on her husband, it was a moment of weakness to her in that point, and the fact that she did it is
taking the episode so we can just
is horrendous. But the fact that she didn't tell her husband is the one thing where I'm like, I understand. And it's, I know it's bad. I know it, but it's a very like, you are the type to just be like, okay, never mind. It didn't happen.
Okay, my thing is like,
just move on.
But that's the bad thing that comes from your coping mechanism.
Exactly, but it comes from
you
that.
Not telling it is just the worst, and it's eating you alive. I love her kids too, and I'm sad that I wish a bit more was handled on them. Let's just remind ourselves that the first episode is called Steven Sees a Ghost.
Yeah,
because Steven is so like, I've never seen a ghost. Fuck you. And then at the end, in the end of the episode, Nellie, the message comes that Nellie killed herself. Yeah. And he's like, but Nellie's in my room with me. And then she like screams at his face.
She comes to him and then she just like screams, and it's like, ooh. So I love it.
So then the second is Open Casket. So that's Shirley's episode. I don't want to talk about the kitten thing. I don't think it's that important. So let's get. She had a kitten thing. They died. It's unimportant.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It matters very much, but it does not matter. Yeah. The coroner that did their mom's funeral is the most beautiful man I've ever seen.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
There you go.
He can fill me up with chemicals in a week.
Please.
But yeah, Shirley. Another interesting part about Shirley is, as a kid, she was the she was a photo maker. She was capturing the memories of all of the kids. And I think that adds up to her like being like, I need to preserve this moment perfectly.
Yeah.
And I like all of the kids the way they're written.
Mm-hmm.
And I I don't care what anybody says. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, but Shirley
in the
did have the
Shirley
least
episodes?
like personality, I think, as a child,
Yeah, definitely.
because she was very
Because
just
she's about capturing the moment.
yeah, she's very like I'm just in the background, kind of.
Shirley needs Shirley's face.
Yeah.
That's what they're like. Okay, we need to leave this one alone.
Mm-hmm.
This is her thing. And then it's like, I mean, we're not coming up. I'm not. I'm not being like, oh my god, spoiler now,
Mm-hmm.
because we're just talking about the show like we're talking about it in the red room.
Yeah.
So everybody had their like. So, Steven had a game room. Theo
Mm-hmm.
had a treehouse.
Yeah.
Nelly had a playroom. Theo had a dancing
Dance room.
studio.
Yeah.
Shirley just had a family.
Yeah.
Shirley just, you know.
Shirley was yeah.
It is nice, and it's very clear why she's the only one who has children that I love.
Yeah.
Shirley was also the last one to figure out that Theo's a lesbian.
Yeah, which is was really funny.
It is yeah, because it's a scene at Nellie's wedding. She's dancing with another woman, and it's just Shirley going like, "What?" And they're like, "We're 3 minutes watching," and then she goes like to her husband like, "I think I think
No, it's funny because like so it was a bridesmaid and Theo, and they're in a room, and so they're all like, "Where's the bridesmaid? Where's the bridesmaid?" And they find the bridesmaid. The bridesmaid goes out, and then they're all like, "Ooh, who was she with? Whatever. Like, which guy was it?" And then Theo comes out of the room, and that's how Nelly and Luke figure it out. Oh, Steve, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, anyway, Luke and oh my God, Nelly and Steve figure out that she's gay, and then she starts dancing.
Also, it's a. I mean, let's use that to go into Theo's episode.
Okay.
I mean, that's not shown in Theo's episode. It's shown in Nellie's episode, but it adds to Theo's character, where they go like, "Oh, we just didn't know," and she goes like, "Didn't know that I was into bridesmaids," and then they just like, laugh about it.
So funny because we were watching it, and it go, I didn't know you were into. And then I go blondes, and then she says bridesmaids, and I'm like, oh, we're there. Okay.
And it's okay. So, Theo, take over. She's your girl.
Favorite,
she's your girl.
She has so many walls. Me, there was just one thing, one little quarrel I had with the show, which is like sometimes it's very on the nose.
And I love the way we were watching, and she was like, and Theo was like, I built walls, and you were like, Jana, I gotta be honest with you. I love this show, and I know that you were like, I know that you love the show, and I love it as well. Yes. It's just very on the nose, and I love how careful we were. And I'm like, oh, it's a not subtle show.
Same thing, but like, okay, no, but it's so her storyline is she's a child psychologist, and she's really good at her job because she has a power of sorts.
Yeah,
which is when she touches somebody, she can see or feel.
And I thought with the first few times I saw it, I thought that the ghost touching her in the bed was the ghost giving her the powers. Mm-hmm. But like she had it before.
Yeah.
When she entered the house, she was always cold.
Yeah.
So Theo and her mom told her, yeah, I have these feelings as well. Yeah. Like I have these like I'm so super like kind of like super empathetic. Like I'm so like I feel these things. And she's like, when you grow up, I'll teach you more about it.
Mm-hmm. And then it makes you died. Fuck, so, I hate it.
Theo's bad thing is that she deflects. She's like, everybody stay out.
Yeah,
like,
she's running away from any letting anybody feeling, and it's being very
because she has the easiest time understanding everybody else.
Yeah, and it's a thing of like I feel too much to a point where I don't want to feel anything anymore.
Everything's a bit too much, and then she is noble because imagine this. She goes through a lot of kids with a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Every time she touches one of those kids, she feels being abused for the first time.
Yeah.
She's not feeling like she's getting abused again. Yeah. She's feeling the feelings of that kid getting abused for the first time. Yeah. So imagine how selfless she was to take that power.
Yeah.
and be like, I'm going to be a child
Yeah.
psychologist.
Child psychologist. No, and there's a very intense scene of so they bring in a kid to her, and the thing was, what I love too is that she did touch the kid as they were sitting and talking. She
Yeah.
was talking to the kid, and she didn't feel anything
Yeah.
the first time, and
No,
then
because the kid built the walls.
yeah,
Those famous walls.
those famous wall. No,
Because
but
the kid. Okay, so it's found out later that the father is abusing the kid.
yeah, and the way it was made
Horrendously.
too was so perfect because she touched the couch and she was like, "Oh, I feel something
Yeah.
here."
And then she had this like guttural reaction, just like
And
it's hard to watch.
and also the way, like when she was talking to the kid was like, "There's a Smiley,
Mr. Smiley,
Mr.
she
Smiley,
calls him.
Mr. Smiley, and I'm scared of Mr. Smiley and all of this." And then
And the kid didn't think of her father.
yeah,
I mean, her adoptive. It's an adoptive
family type thing,
foster home situation.
And then Theo goes to the parents' house and she's like, "Hey, can I walk through your basement? I just want to feel the vibes,
Yeah.
whatever." And then she goes and then she touches the couch, and when she lays down on the couch, she looks up and like
One
in
of the floorboards.
floorboards had like a smiley thing on it
Like
of like
two circles and just like wood being engraved
yeah,
weirdly.
which I just and being and then her being like she stepped so far away from it that she doesn't even know
Yeah.
what's happening. She just knows she's scared of this thing because when she looks up, she sees
and it's
smile.
and
Oh
it's
my
a
god, it's so
bittersweet victory because she's just gonna be thrown into the foster system
Yeah.
again. And she knows about the foster system. She was in the foster system.
It's just
But no, Theo goes through a lot, and Theo is the fan favorite, and it makes me get like, as somebody who likes Stevie and Shirley, I get defensive of like she's not that great as well.
no, I know, but it's I don't know. For me, it was
No,
like
but I
I
do
will
love her.
understand
She
if
is
Stevie is the worst. Then I would get people putting Shirley over Theo. I feel like Theo does more damage than Shirley to the family.
definitely.
So like I agree with you on that, but it's a thing of like I don't know. I get it. Like, I just want to protect her because she has those walls around her.
I love all of them.
Yeah.
So like I'm just saying that a lot of people are like, oh, Stevie is horrendous and Theo is perfect.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, the point is that everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Luke turned to drugs, and it is mentioned. So the first 5 episodes are all about the kids, but it's not like we're talking about them now because we're talking about them as characters, not about like specific episodes. I just pulled up the episodes to have some reminders and shit. So it's, but then you learn a bit about like everything about their time at Hill House, and it's to a point it's a mystery show.
Yeah.
Because you have these like you keep going like, oh, what are like connecting these dots? And
yeah,
like,
and no ghost was ever a ghost for the sake of being a ghost.
yeah,
They all have like an explanation of
Yeah.
who's why, what,
so
where.
Luke turned to drugs because of his childhood, and the episode between Luke and Nellie is called The Twin Thing. I mean, between Luke and then Nellie's the bent neck lady, and Luke on a rewatch is, and I sometimes spoil shows to you because I know like we won't be able to rewatch them together, and I want you to have the realizations that I had like on the third watch.
Yeah.
Of like, so and at 3:03, and in Luke and Steve's case 12:03 because they were in different states. They all jumped up.
Yeah.
Because it is because of Nellie being hung, and then it's like in the scene you hear the snap of the neck, and everybody stands up like, oh my god, I feel something, I'm scared, I'm startled. He grabs his neck instantly because him and Nellie have a twin thing.
Yeah.
And it's Luke and Nellie's kid actors deserve first of all the cutest.
Did it Luke's little I love that child so much.
But also like great actors.
Yeah.
In the episode that we're gonna, I think I will talk about it the most, Two Storms, the one that's a lot of long takes. The kids knew the lines before the adults, because the kids were like, I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah, I gotta be on it, bitch.
So like the adults just know their lines, the kids knew
Theirs
both
too,
of their lines. So Oh,
But
I
they have a
love them.
fun. They have a lot of like those cutscenes from Friends, and it's always kids. Like it's I don't know David Schwimmer being like, "What's my line?" And then the kid goes like, "And then she said," like, those kids are really like sponges.
Yeah, it's I love fucking. Oh, but so it's Luke. Luke is just you love Luke because it's the desperation,
Yeah,
but you don't see the bad sides. I mean, you do see him looting Stevie,
yeah.
but
But then
like
it's
you
like,
see one moment
hmm
from, and you can like how much bad has he done? How
yeah.
much has he stolen and taken? And
No, it's. I think even that is portrayed very well. Of like, it's not like there's so many movies and so many shows that will show it either like the worst thing ever or like you have to always forgive everyone
yeah,
who like it's either you're the utmost villain or
it's
you're the
either
utmost victim. It's never
yeah,
like
it's either victimizing people who do drugs
yeah,
or it's like.
you're the worst. You're
And
never
I
yeah.
feel like people who make media about drug abuse usually steer the way of the bad things.
Mhm.
Because like the guy who made Euphoria, Euphoria is, I mean, Euphoria paints taking drugs as a fun activity, and
Mhm.
that's something that I dislike. But being a druggie and the effects of taking drugs on other people are intensely horrendous,
Yeah.
and it's because of his own experience
Yeah.
with it. So like I feel usually a lot of, and I don't know if I think what's his face, Mike Flanagan.
Mhm.
He was an alcoholic. Hey brother. So he was kind of like probably in those lines of
Yeah.
like I can see what happens, but I didn't do it myself. So Luke is a bit more victimized, and we
Yeah.
also gotta love Luke.
Yeah.
We can't end the show with just being like, oh, we don't care if he lives or dies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and
he
also Luke when they had that moment of him like running away with because he found a girl in
he
the
wanted to
rehab
save
and
her.
he
Yeah,
wanted to save her and then he didn't have any money for a motel and they couldn't go back to the rehab center.
yeah,
So he did go to like steal but so they can
yeah.
afford to pay for a
And
room.
in the first episode, from Stevie's perspective, we
Yeah.
think like, oh, he's a drug user just
Yeah.
being a drug
But he
user.
keeps telling him it's really not what you
It's really
think.
not what you think. But he looks like he is. He looks like he's on drugs because he feels his sister being dead,
Yeah, so he's
constantly
cold.
cold, constantly
He's
shaking, and he looks horrendous.
pale,
Yeah,
like everything, and he looks dead, but like also looks like he's on drugs. And then it's like, I don't know.
it's
I
a
love it.
greatly written show
Yeah,
because me and Selma had a lot of those. Ah,
yeah.
remember,
Remember that?
remember.
Yeah. No, I liked Luke a lot, even as like a as an adult. I
I
really
like.
only have beef with Stevie, if I'm completely honest. I didn't care about him.
Okay, but so Luke's whole thing is that he escaped, and he has Luke and Nellie have their own ghosts.
Hmm
Luke has the tall man because he took his hat when he was a kid, so like he's following him. And it gets explained later on. My mom got it in she barely watched that show with
hmm
me because she's like, I can do the killers with the knives. I just don't like it when it's ghosts and
Which
vampires.
preach, woman.
And so she would like catch up a little bit.
Mhm.
On Nellie's episode, she figured out such an important plot point, and it was so funny. Anyways, Nellie's episode. Fun thing. Everybody has their thing. Everybody has their coping mechanism. So like we talked about them all in detail. Like
Mhm.
so, drug abuse for Luke, building herself off from Theo, Shirley, and her like need to
Yeah.
control everything. And see, Nellie doesn't have anything.
Yeah, Nellie is just she's the only one who truly felt what was happening, and that was her doom.
And yeah, because she's desperately seeking help,
Yeah,
and she is doing it with no way of like, I'm not deflecting, I am not ignoring this, I'm
yeah,
going at this head on,
and
and I'm
then
the biggest victim here.
yeah,
And Nellie's husband was mentioned a few times, and in her episode we meet him and find out that like, I mean, I think like a year after they got married,
he died of like
he
a heart
died of
attack,
like a stroke or
stroke.
something.
Yeah,
Like it was something completely random.
and it
And
was
and she, that was the first night in a long time that she saw the bent neck lady. So Nellie grew up with her personal ghost being the bent neck lady.
Yeah.
She always saw her. She was like, "Oh my God, it's a bent neck lady." What? Um, and it when she
Which
was
was
with
so
her,
one of the most like fuck like like I don't know how to explain it. Like most I want to help you moments for her for me to her was like when he was dying and because she had like sleep paralysis thing and when
yeah,
she
yeah,
had
yeah.
sleep paralysis thing, that like lady would show up and she couldn't move and he fell down as he was dying. She couldn't help him
And it's like you
because
can't stand up, you can't try and resuscitate him, you
you
can't
can't
call
do
nine one
anything.
one.
You're just laying
She
there watching him die, and I
and then
just want to
she
go like,
crawled, like
yeah,
literally, she couldn't fully move. She just crawled towards him, and
yeah,
the acting of Victoria Pedretti in that scene,
yeah,
I very horror is not for somebody who wants to be pretty.
mm-mm,
She was on her and the way she screamed no,
yeah,
and she was only happy with him.
yeah,
The
because
bent neck lady never
never showed
appeared
up
with
and
him,
he was
and
there.
he understood her, and he was her like not sleep therapist, but he was like a sleep technician or something like that. So she had her own personal sleep technician.
Yeah,
But it was a moment of like, finally, people believe me.
yeah,
Everyone's been telling me like it's these like I'm crazy and shit like that. But then and then he dies, and she just has nothing,
yeah,
and she ruined her relationship with Theo
yeah.
because she believed Theo about the whole touch thing, and
Mm-hmm.
she forced her to touch the place
Died, yeah.
where he died, and
And
it
it's like also coming from the perspective of I'm so desperate, I need your help, but then also being like you're putting me in a position where
yeah, yeah, no,
I
it's like
can't
we
do
get
this.
both of their
Yeah,
perspectives, and we kept commenting about that. Every single argument is so mature.
yeah.
It comes from um
Except when
like
Stevie does it.
Neely. No, Stevie and his dad have like really like, oh, thank you.
And you
You
did
should have
it.
died. You should have died. Ugh. And then he's like, you don't get Hill House, Stevie. Ugh. It's but every single other argument, because it's so Nellie forced Theo to touch the place where he died. She was like, "You're not feeling anything," and she's like, "I'm feeling serious fucking concern
Yeah,
for my sister."
yeah,
And she's like, "I thought we were gonna go clubbing. I thought we were gonna drink, and I thought we were gonna cry."
yeah. Being like, hey, I want to be there for you as a sister should, not as this. Is like also having that like, is this the only reason you called me here?
Yeah,
I thought I was just hanging out with my sister. Like
yeah,
you and I don't know. I get it's so
it is.
sad.
And the thing is, that's their last conversation
Yeah. Ugh,
before. So Nellie goes into the house, and it's her mom, and we're gonna talk about the mom.
we gotta talk about the mom.
Gotta talk about the mom. But it's her mom being like, come home.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so at this point, we both, I mean, you kind of figured out like the mom is possessed by Hill House. So she was this perfect lady. And I personally think that it's a lot of the children's like
Yeah,
looking back
perception of
of
her.
looking through rose tinted
Yeah.
glasses. But some people go like, oh, I think she was straight up just abusive. And I'm like, I think that's just
No.
Hill House
Yeah.
making her out like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it's her coming down, and so there's this locket that Olivia has. Olivia's the mom, and she's like, "I'm gonna give it to you when you're older." And then she gives her the locket, like the ghost of Olivia gives Nellie the locket, and she's like, "Thank you." And then it's the rope around her neck.
Yeah, it cuts to just, and I love it's shot so perfectly too. Because even when she walks into the house and she sees everything, is like, oh, this is where I grew up, and she
And
sees everything beautiful and
yeah,
the kids and her
and
mom and everything.
everybody is so like we know that it's fake, but she's in such a state of agony and
Yeah,
depression
that like,
that
oh, I want to
everybody
stay here.
coming up and being saying the perfect words.
Hmm.
I am sorry that we fought. I am
Yeah,
sorry that I didn't believe you. I am
yeah,
sorry. Like everybody apologized perfectly,
yeah,
and when you watch it as a viewer, you're like, this is so fake.
yeah,
But she's in like, finally, I don't feel
yeah,
horrendous.
and even like they had like cutscene, like even I think even in the first episode,
In the first episode, you see her, and you're
dancing.
like, oh, she's crazy.
Yeah,
She's dancing with herself, but holding her hands up like she's dancing with somebody else.
and it's in like the redness of the house, like cobwebs, like it's
Yeah,
not like a pretty house anymore because it's an abandoned house, and you just see her dancing like by herself, and you're like, what the fuck? And
and
then when it cuts to her episode, you just see this like
her dancing with her dead
imagination.
husband,
Yeah,
and you're like, she's so happy,
Yeah.
and she's not crazy at all because you see the ghosts now. And then when she dies, you get the realization that she was the Bethnic lady the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think everybody gets fucked about that in the same way, where it's like, how does this affect space time?
Yeah.
Because you're like, her adult self, her dead adult self, kept looking at her
Yeah.
since childhood. And when I watched it the first time, that was my most like, I was like, holy shit, mom!
Mom.
And I love my mom. She walked in and she was just like, oh, means they're coming for the brother next.
Did you write the show? Do you know Mr. Flanagan?
See, that's where those are my genes.
Yeah, that's
with Bly Manor, I'll have a moment like that as well.
Yeah.
But and then it's like, yeah, it's her mom inviting Nellie, and she took Nellie.
Yeah.
So my mom was just like, yeah, and she's gonna go for the brother next. That's why he is a ghost.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, Jesus.
Stop. No, but what was I gonna say? There was something I wanted to say.
About the Benthic lady reveal.
Yeah, what I loved the most about it was, so as she hangs herself, her neck breaks, and then you see her like falling through
all the moments
that she as a child saw
and
the
most
neck lady.
terrifying one.
Oh my God!
Is
No,
her,
no.
Like her seeing herself in bed, and she's like, no,
like being like, no, I don't want to do this to you.
Then back, like in the previous episodes, she's a shadow.
Yeah.
So like you see the Benthic lady, but you don't see that it's like Victoria Pedretti.
Yeah.
But you did hear at the story like, no.
And it's so fucked too, because it's like when we first saw her, or the kids see her, you see that you hear her go like, no, and the kid is terrified because it's a kid and doesn't know what's happening, and then you see her like fall right over the kid because she's sleeping on the bed, and she goes like, no, being so like, I don't want to do this to you, I don't want to scare you, I don't want to like, it's
and then at the end she can't hold it in anymore, so she just screams.
Yeah.
And that's like where she's the closest to Nellie, and that like affects her the most.
Yeah.
Because at that point she knows she can't control it anymore. It is. Oh my God, writing. That it's two storms. I'm not gonna talk about the two storms themselves. I want to say the show had like 4 shots. So it's a lot of long shots, and then it is used. A lot of the sets were built to accommodate this episode. So it's Nellie's wake. Is that what they call it when you come and see the body? And that's where the scene that I really love of Steve happens, where he's like, yep, that is Nellie, detective. That definitely is her body. Shit. And then he just walks away being like, I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck this was. And Theo touched Nellie. Touched Nellie's dead body.
We did not talk about that. Jesus, that's one of my favorite plot lines.
But it's currently happening. So it's like she touched her, and now she's just drinking. She's being just a booze hound.
And she's fine the whole time. So she keeps drinking all day, but she doesn't look drunk once.
Yeah. And there is a scene where she goes to goes to sit on the couch and falls. And then she just goes, don't touch me. And it's like, that's improvised. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this show. One of my favorite shots is the dad coming home, and it's the first time they all see each other. And they go like, Nellie always wanted us to be together. And then Theo goes like, she didn't have to try this hard. And then the dad walks in, and the camera pans on like his face, and then it pans behind him to see his back facing the children.
Yeah,
and they're all kids. Yeah. They're all their kid selves.
Yeah.
And then the camera goes around again, and then it's the adult actors again. And then when he goes to see Nellie, it's not adult Nellie in the casket. It's child Nellie.
Yeah.
And it is hard to watch.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the story of like a storm happening in Hill House, and I think this is a very dad centric episode.
Yeah.
And a great Olivia monologue happens there of.
Oh God, no! It was so like, oh, Olivia. I thought you meant you. Never mind.
A great Olivia monologue of when her dad died, it rained rocks.
Yeah.
And it's so like I was
so sad. Yeah, I made it rain rocks.
My daddy died, and I made it rain rocks, and it's a great Olivia moment. But in that episode, It's one of our favorites. I think that's it's your it really impacted you also from the episode as well as when they're looking at the casket and then it turns around and they're all standing and in the back is Nellie
Yeah.
as the bent neck lady.
Yeah.
And we were both like, okay, because we were both just standing like, oh
Oh
shit.
Wowza. Because it's like she's behind all of them and like, oh. Just keep remembering random details and I'm like,
So in the past, there's this moment where Nellie disappears, and they're all looking for Nellie, and this is my favorite part of I might cry too. And it's so Nellie.
Okay, but can we just go back for a second to what you said prior to that?
Because I have to change the record.
What Theo said of like she shouldn't have tried this hard. It's like the whole thing was for Nelly. I want us all to be together. I wanted us all to be together. So as they're going through the like storm that happened when they were kids, the electricity goes out, whatever, and Theo is holding Nelly's hand, and then Nelly just disappears. And then Theo is like, "Hey, she was right here. She was just here. Like I was holding her hand, and she's gone." Oh God. And they spend the whole time looking for her. Meanwhile, the mom is going a bit cuckoo during the search, and she's like, a lot is happening, right? But the whole point is they're trying to find Nellie. And then
is this the first time she says I'm having the strangest
dream? Yeah.
Dream?
So it's her trying to like kill the dad or like being like
I think
weird.
that happens like intertwined in the episodes, but we're not retelling the story.
Yeah, it's
we're just being like what we remember.
Yeah, and so they come around and they see the electricity comes back on, and suddenly Nellie's there, and then Nellie, as a child, she's 3.
Yeah,
screaming like, I was right here. You couldn't see me. I was right here. I was right here the whole time, and you couldn't see me.
And meanwhile, in the present, electricity went out as well.
Yeah.
And also, Shirley had that thing that I mentioned before, where she like changed every light bulb.
Yeah. So like,
they have a other generator in the room, but the lights go out because they're. Oh my god. Steve and his dad are. I told you we're going to talk about this episode the most.
Yeah.
Steve and his dad are fighting, and then it escalates, and they're both being very immature. We talked about this. We both hate them. Both of them.
Both of them. Both.
And they're like, and then the wrong parent died.
Yeah.
And then Nellie's casket falls.
Yeah. Ooh.
What's with my record?
Okay, you go.
Let me just fix this. But like, talk about how you felt about Nellie's casket.
Nellie's casket falls, and then that's when the electricity comes back on. Oh, but before that, okay, let's just. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. I need this to be impactful. The Nellie's casket falls down, and then they all stop in that moment because it's like, well, shit, they have to pick her back up, so they do. And then at the end of the episode is just so we saw Nellie as a ghost.
I want to talk about the casket falling down a bit more because it's all of them fighting, and also in this episode we find out like Shirley finds out. So Luke offered Stevie offered the money
from the
books. And Shirley was like, fuck no, this is blood money. We're not going to take it. Her husband took it. Theo took it. And then Theo admitted. And then her husband admitted. And she was like, fuck, I'm not in control.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you didn't. You're lying to me. How dare you? Catches Theo making out with her husband. I mean, trying to make out with her husband. Okay, yes. We will talk about it more in detail later. So everything's falling apart.
So Theo is the lesbian. And she's catching Theo with her husband in the closet, in the freezer thing.
Yeah.
And it's them like kissing, and it's her being like, well, fuck me now.
Yeah.
Just Shirley going like, okay, so you all suck then.
Yeah.
And she's so mad at Theo, she's being like, hey, you lived in my house this whole time.
And also everyone's like, oh, Luke looks surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like he's not, I don't think he took anything. So everyone's fighting.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing it the worst. And then I feel like it's Nellie being like,
please don't.
And then it's her she fell and it's her body just there. And all of them have to stop fighting to fix her. Like, And then she goes like, I have to fix her makeup. I
Yeah.
have to get and fix her makeup. And that's like when that happens, the lights go back on,
Yeah.
and it cuts once again to Nellie being like, the young Nellie being like, I was there and none of you saw me.
I was right
And
there.
then it turns,
And they all go walk away,
they all
one
walk
by one.
away. Luke the last.
Yeah. And then you just see the bent neck lady standing next to her casket and just going, I was
And
right
I
there.
was right there and
You
none of
didn't
you
see
saw
me.
me.
I was right here. But it's not even her saying it. It's like the voice of the kid.
It's the kid saying it.
I was
But
right here.
and I don't, you know me, that I hate when they do like, oh, you're dumb, like I have to tell you this. You
Yeah.
gotta, but I don't mind because it is like an impactful sentence to Nellie, and then it's like, it's just to this day,
Yeah.
like it happened again. I
Mm.
was there and none of you saw me.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite thing
Yeah.
in the show. I think in like
Right here.
everything Mike Flanagan ever did, I think that episode is the best thing he ever did. And that closing line, just I was there and none of you saw me, and it's just her ghost standing there like I was there
Right.
and none of you saw me. Oh,
God. Okay. So,
eulogy as an episode, I think is a lot of like just explanation about the house.
yeah, being
They
like,
find the body in the basement.
Mhm.
They find out. Ooh, we didn't talk about a scene that very scared me, and I think scared you as well.
which one?
When Luke gets into like the dumbbell elevator,
Oh, yeah. And then
and
it's a,
it goes down because it's not a jump scare. It's
Mm.
just him he's using the flashlight to see like the like under the stairs some like illegal bootlegging thing, and then it's just a hand falling behind.
yeah.
And
Just
it's not a
that.
jump scare. It is genuinely just a scary thing, and then it's coming. Oh, never mind. But it's eulogy is like a ooh, we're
Trilogy is there to
exploring,
like
yeah,
explain most like what's
exploring
happening.
Hill House and like how they're getting more fucked
Yeah.
trying to build this house, and how the mom is getting more and more possessed.
Yeah.
And I think in this episode is my favorite moment of her, where she's like, "This is getting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I am being mad and I am being insane." And she just turns around and she goes like, I think it just snuck up on me. And she
Yeah.
is so desperate. And
Yeah.
it's so sad to see her because everybody loves Olivia. Like, Olivia is
You know, I always said my biggest fear is going crazy and not knowing it. And then when she did that, I was like, no, my biggest fear is going crazy and knowing it.
oh,
Being like, I know being
what's
so
happening?
confused, being like,
What's
I can't
happening?
control my brain anymore.
What's normal and what's not?
And it like just going so sad into like, it just snuck up on me and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, Jesus.
So let's talk about why Olivia is the way she is, and then let's talk about Olivia, and then let's talk about the ending of the show, because these last three episodes are kind of just like explaining what happened. So
Yeah.
Olivia is their mom, and I feel like a lot of it is her being seen through rose tinted glasses.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was a good mother the whole way through.
Yeah, but it's also a thing of like when you see like all the scenes she had with Theo,
Yeah.
it's different than all the scenes she had with like Shirley or like, you know, it's just going through it in a very like
Yeah.
how each child saw her.
Yeah. But also
And also I don't think Luke had a lot of scenes with her, right? I don't remember any like
I don't remember.
impactful like
any.
thing she had with
It was
Luke.
just Luke, Nelly, and her,
Yeah.
like the three of them,
Yeah, but I
and
think a
she
lot of it
took the most care of them because they were like,
little babies.
yeah, not impacted from the outside world.
Yeah.
So the Olivia's whole thing is like she is being kind of the perfect mother because she's a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
First things first, and then she has like no like she had 5 kids and her body's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like she is just this perfection of a lady and understanding, and then it's the house keeps sneaking up on her.
Yeah.
It leeches onto her. It's because if it attacks the mom, which the house knew that the house is the main entity here.
Yeah.
The house knew that if it goes for the mom, everybody is
Yeah.
falling because she is.
If it gets her, then the house gets to keep all of
And
them.
I think in the 9th episode, there's this scene of her, and I think a YouTuber said like that they think that this is the only real portrayal of the mom because
Mhm.
she's always wearing dresses, she's always wearing nightgowns. In the the episode where the father is remembering it, and they're all coming into the house when they bought it, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so big! We love this house." And she's just in shorts and like a shirt, but she's still good. That's what I mean. I think that she was good the whole time. Where the father goes like, "Come join us, Anna. We'll need your help." And she goes like, "Go ahead without me."
Go ahead without
Like,
me. Yeah.
how could we ever?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this fucking show, you guys.
No.
So Olivia gets haunted by the house as a way to be like, we want to feed on these alive people and kill them so the ghosts can stay in this house. It's not explicitly stated. It's much more beautiful than this.
Yeah, but that's the lore. Like the point is, it's like once you get it, like if you die in the house, you become the ghost of the house.
Yeah.
And it's we didn't talk about keepers. What are the names?
Oh, the Dudleys. I'm keeping them for the fucking end.
Okay. Because I love them.
I love them too. No, because there's like a little nice side one.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing about this show is like it's so intertwined about everything. Luke has this imaginary friend, and the whole time you're like, oh, she's imaginary.
Yeah, imaginary.
And then at the end she isn't.
Yeah, which I called
you saw it coming, yeah, but whatever, fuck you. But yeah, the thing is, what's happening at this point is that all of this happened, and Olivia as a character is so interesting. She is this perfect mother, and then whenever we go back to the house and see the possessed Olivia by the ghost, it is so hard to watch.
Yeah. Because it's like you've seen her be so ethereal and so like caring and kind, and then it's just in split moments she's just gone.
Yeah.
And then but it's not even that intense is my thing. It's like it's never being like, like I'm talking to you, and suddenly I'm like,
yeah,
and then I go crazy. It's very subtle.
It's very like Stevie walks into a room and she's just talking to the twins.
Yeah.
She's just randomly, and it's not like she's fucking clawing at the walls, and then she just goes like, I'm having the strangest dream.
And it's
so there's a lot of moments that we can't get to all of them, like the mirror, and if you know, that's the thing. But Olivia is, you can make the,
you know what one of my favorite things about
Olivia?
Her story is, so the red room when we just start watching it is a thing of like there's a door and there's no key and nobody could get into the door and nobody knows what's in the red room and blah blah blah. But as the show goes on, you realize that the red room, all of them were in it and they all had their own thing.
Yeah.
And for the mom, while she was okay, it was like a reading room.
Yeah.
She was there and she was reading it. The moment when she went completely crazy, where she was like, I need to kill these kids so I can keep them.
It was like a completely white, like,
it was, she walked in and the room was what it was.
Yeah.
It was
just with white walls.
But they weren't just white walls. They had like, what's it called? Mold. It was moldy. It was green. It was
at the end, yeah. In Luke's memories, it was a white room.
Yeah, that's like at the very end. But when she went completely crazy, she was like, "Oh, this is what calm is for me now. This is my thing now." It's so good. I love it.
And she finds solace in Mrs. Dudley, who we'll talk about later. And we see the ghost that's haunting her.
Yeah.
And the ghost is going for because the ghost is going for the care of her children.
Yeah.
And that's where she can get you.
Yeah.
Because Olivia is just like, I want to protect all of these children. I want to. And like they have a whole point of like, we knew that the Theo was a lesbian since like when she was 5. And it's the ghost that's haunting Olivia is just it's really going at everything, because the ghost back in the day was also like, I'm
just a random woman, and then
I'm just a mother who got crazy.
Yeah, because
my kid died.
Yeah. And then it's that ghost going to Olivia constantly being like, do you want to protect your kids? There's only one way you can protect them, is if you keep them in this house forever. How are you going to do that? You need to kill them. Like, it's very like more subtle than that. I'm just being like, so here's the plan. No previous ghost. So do you want this? Okay, here's how you do it.
Me as a ghost, like, so do you want to protect these kids? There's only one way to protect the kids. So first things first, you go and kill them.
First things first, go to the store, get rat poison. Make them some nice warm tea.
Yeah. By the way, that was you were like, let's have a tea night.
Oh my god, I was so scared. I never once in my life before this moment was like, I want to drink tea. I text him, first of all, I text him, like, want to have a tea night? You go, like, actual tea or like gossip? And I'm like, no, actual tea. You're like, oh my god, yes. So we're drinking tea. We've never drunk tea. We're watching, and the whole show is just about them drinking tea.
Yeah,
like whenever they're doing anything, like, here's tea, tea, and I'm like,
Nelly is like, I want to have a tea party. Let's have a tea party.
and I'm like,
the tea party was very important.
do anymore.
So an important. So it's. I think we talked our talk about Olivia, and we can like do our like little assessment about everything later. The one scene that I'm going to talk about before we talk about like the end is that Shirley and Theo are fighting in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fighting and fighting and fighting, and then Nelly jumps in between them, and I'm like, and I was like, they had a lot more dialogue between this, and she just jumped out before to scare them. But then Theo explained that she touched a dead person and that she felt nothing.
No, but that's one of my favorite, because I remember I was watching the show the entire time with being very when that scene of Theo screaming came on, I was just stare like I couldn't. There's nothing you could about it, and it's a thing of first Theo going out of the car being like, do you believe it now? Do you see it now? You saw it, and then all of this, and then they go into why she kissed Shirley's husband.
Yeah.
And it was her being like, I touched her body, and it was so because like when we had her episode, Thea's episode, she touched the body, and the only thing we had any kind of explanation is just that she screamed.
She's screaming.
And I'm thinking the entire time it's a thing of like she saw her pain, she felt her pain, what she felt like, and all this, and I'm like, oh, it's that intense. What
but that's what
carried.
she expected.
Yeah,
that's what she thought was going to happen.
And then she goes on this whole monologue of like, I felt nothing. Nothing.
The last two episodes monologue the show.
Yeah, and I love it. I love a good like. Let's just. No, I just want to listen to you talk to yourself.
Mike Flanagan is a very unrealistic writer, and it fits with the shows he makes.
Yeah,
it's
so
that's what I mean when I say like he is just quotes and quotes and quotes and quotes.
And so she's going on being like, I felt nothing, and it was the worst feeling I could have ever felt.
Yeah.
And then when
she said, I felt nothing, and it spread to my whole body.
Yeah. And that's why she kept drinking to feel anything, and that's why she never was drunk, looked drunk. And like all of these things, she was just like, I feel nothing, and all that. And when the electricity went out, she was in the freezer thing.
Yeah.
And her husband was there, and the only thing, like, she went and she kissed him, and she says, but I'm glad that I did, because for the first time after that happened, I felt shamed.
She felt,
I felt sad, I felt ashamed, and it's so much better than feeling nothing. And imagine that. Imagine being so, like, the most intense feeling I could have. Bad feeling is so much better than feeling nothing.
Yeah, than that nothingness of touching a corpse.
God.
It is intense. But then it's a whole thing of like, now Luke is trying to burn down the house.
Yeah. So they're all driving to see Luke, and the Dad and Stevie went in one car, and they told Shirley and Theo to stay home. Then Shirley and Theo were like, nah, we're gonna go too.
So like to summarize, Luke is basically about to die because the mom wants to kill him. They put like rat poison through a needle in his arms and shit like that. Because mom wants to keep them in.
Yeah.
And then all of them are in the red room, and then Nellie appears.
Yeah.
And they all have their fantasies, but we don't have the time to go into all of them. But they all have like this perfect thing happen to them, but then it's basically the house trying to take care of them.
Yeah.
And they all have like a red thing.
Yeah.
Because red room. And then Nellie takes them all out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nellie walks in, and she has this speech about like, and I'm so glad that she talks about it, because like, what the fuck is time?
Yeah.
Because she's like, I thought time was a line that goes, but it falls around as like snow or rain or like confetti. And then she has the moment that she had when she first walked into Hill House, but a very realistic one. Of like, and Steve, even when he apologized, I'm sorry if I, like, and he apologizes imperfectly, and she goes like, "It wouldn't have made any difference."
It wouldn't have made any difference. Yeah.
And then, this is where I might cry. Theo saying like, "I'm sorry," our last words were in anger, and she just goes like, "There were no." God,
I hate this show.
Shirley, we were watching the show, and the whole time I was like, "Why the fuck do I hate
Why
myself?"
doing this.
Shirley says like, "I'm sorry I never picked up the phone," and then like Nelly goes like, "But you did so many times."
Yeah.
I loved you all, and you loved me the same. Oh,
That's what I mean. I feel like, I don't know, for me, I love Theo the most, but I feel like the story is about Nelly.
I feel like the story's about Olivia. Fuck you.
I think it's about the dad.
The
Honestly, I think it's about the Donovans. Dudleys.
Dudleys.
I keep saying Donovans. I don't know why. It's a Donovan.
No, but it is. I feel like from a storytelling point of view,
Yeah.
Steve's the main one. From an emotional point of view, Nelly's the main one.
Yeah.
From like a importance point of view, Olivia's the main one. You can they're all like they're the three main ones.
Yeah.
Because like Stevie often narrates and shit
Yeah.
like that, and it's. But oh god, this show is.
It's so, like, and it's intense in every way. Like, you will get scared if you're just like a horror buff. It has that, but then
Yeah.
it's so like emotional, and it's so gut wrenchingly like
And
just
it's
tragedy after tragedy.
We're probably talking for like 2 hours. We just scratched the surface.
Yeah. And
There's a lot to the show.
honestly, you know what? One of my favorite scenes were is in the end between the mom and the dad.
Oh my god, Journey's End and Lovers Meeting.
Oh, yes.
Her coming up and saying that it's a Shakespeare quote.
Yeah.
And
Journey's End and Lovers Meeting, and the whole.
It's this meditation of like what is parenting.
Yeah.
Being like, I cannot let them go.
Yeah.
I can't. The rest of them, they were already kind of like faced with the real word, but like Nelly and Luke weren't.
Yeah.
And then the dad goes like, but my
No,
thing
but
is
she
like,
wanted to keep all of them.
yeah,
And then it was a thing of the dad going like, but you need to let them
yeah,
live. And then she's like, well, no, I want to
They're-
protect them.
they're
And the
going
only
to
way.
get hurt.
Yeah.
They're going to get, and that is a thing. That is parenting.
Because
That
even through all of this, even like you could have made this show to make the mom the bad guy, or like make the fact that she went crazy
yeah,
turn her into a bad
Yeah.
person. But you don't, because
Yeah.
you don't need that. You
You
can
see-
still have the motherly
Yeah.
instinct to be like, she is right. She has the right to want to protect her children.
she is.
And it had
The
to
house found a spot that it can
be,
infiltrate.
yeah, which is her being a mom.
Yeah.
And it's just her.
What was your favorite line of the last episode? God has nothing on a mother.
God has nothing on a mother. Oh my
Mike
God.
Flanagan has a very like we are kindred spirits in our talks about religion, and mom going like, how could God see their creation have this pain and not just stand by?
Yeah.
God
and
has nothing
God
on a
has
mother.
nothing on a mother.
Oh,
Get that tattooed.
it's
It's just me, like, next to the dog. Just going like, God has nothing on a mother.
And then me, because I don't want to do words, I tattoo like Jesus.
And then like
And then,
X.
X. And
Just
then, like
mom.
Lady Gaga. But then so a side story that I really like. There's a lot of things we didn't touch upon. It's a long show,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of side stories and shit like that. I love talking to you, and I was like, you were already crying. I was crying too. Ever since she said, "I loved you and you loved me the same," tears were being shed,
Yeah.
and I was like, "There's one last thing that's gonna get you." So it's the Dudleys were taking care of this house, and they were like weird old religious people.
Yeah.
I love the way Mrs. Dudley talks. She's like, and they would be here in the night, in the dark, and
Yeah.
she's just talking about like that all the time. The reason that the dad didn't sell Hill House is because the Dudleys wanted to stay in a space because both of their children's ghosts
We're there.
were in Hill House.
And one of the children died at birth, which is just as. And there was like a scene of the dad talking to the dad, and
It was stillborn. Like
yeah, It was a stillborn baby, but it was born in the house. And then when Olivia went crazy and wanted to poison her kids, also one of their kids was there, so it died.
Yeah,
and the two of them
and
survived.
that's the kid that was too protected by the kid. She didn't have any life.
Yeah,
But and you can see like you don't agree with what the Dudleys did, but you can see
it's
the
kind of like
gravity.
Olivia being like, I want to protect them and
Yeah,
keep them here, and it's so the Dudleys were like, hey, can you please not
this
keep
house,
the
and
house so I can
we'll
come?
not mention that your wife killed our child.
Yeah, we can all just move past that, and I just want to be able to see my children,
So
and
they can come back into the house and see the ghost of the kid.
yeah,
Um, and then one of the last scenes is just, and you were like, "Who the fuck is that?" It's it's Mr. Dudley running into the house holding his wife,
yeah.
and then she dies, and he goes like, "I made it," and then it's her holding her baby with her child coming to hug her.
So like I completely forgot about the stillborn child. I was like, who, what? And then I remembered. And I was like, oh,
And it's the younger her. Oh, we forgot to mention the dad. He made a deal. He was like, "You can have me
yeah, you can
and
help
not
stay.
take the children,"
Yeah,
and that's a very important. Like the dad, as he dies and he becomes younger and so on, and he goes to hug Nellie and the mom. Nellie's hugging him like, oh, like she's sad that the house got into.
yeah,
Olivia's hugging him and she's staring daggers into Steve.
yeah. Being like, I still want you.
Like this is a bitter victory for
Yeah,
me because I'm so like so taken by this
yeah.
house. I plop my hand in like cat go.
You little
And
baby.
it's a great show. Um, a thing I wanted to talk, I think I wanted to mention is um when Nelly says, so we're crying, and then Nelly goes like, "Forgiveness is warm, like a tear on a cheek." And I go like, "You're right, sister." Because so many tears. Um, but yeah, it's. I'm glad you enjoyed the show because we watched it the first time and you were kind of out of it.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention because I don't know.
We were
For me,
watching.
for a while, it was very like I never made the connection of like horror and
Emotion.
emotion.
Okay.
Because I grew up with my mom who's really a horror buff, and for her, horror is very like I need ghosts all the time. I need
Yeah.
scary all the time.
But it's funny because like even the movies you watched as a kid, like if you watch them now, Candyman is very
Yeah,
much a dark romance.
yeah. But for my mom, it was like, no, watch this, and I was like, okay, mom, I'm 6. It's fun. We had a little, now looking back, it was a cute moment, but back then I was traumatized. I pissed the bed for a month.
And now we're halfway through Bly Manor.
Yeah.
You like it? Do you think you'll like it more than Hill House?
I don't know, because Bly Manor doesn't have as many of like, and then this, and then that, and
Yeah.
and maybe because I watched Hill House first, now I can connect the clues faster
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Bly
yeah.
Manor, because like he brought the flowers, and I was like, oh, so it's him, or like whatever. But I don't know. I quite enjoy it
Yeah.
either way.
But mostly because lesbians.
Lesbians.
Lesbians. Um. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do next week. Maybe we'll be a bit more streamlined.
Mm.
But these shows have a lot that happens in them.
Yeah, you have to like really see it because it's all over the place, and you can't just talk about an episode and then
But I
not
think we
mention.
talked about the most like our most important
Yeah,
things, and it is a show that makes you cry many times.
yeah,
Mike Flanagan is like really a good horror writer
hmm
because because of that thing because he's not just like, oh, I'm here to scare you. He's
hmm
like emotions when you get when you attach yourself to these characters. So like think of The Conjuring.
yeah.
Name me
Exactly.
two characters that aren't like the two main
Yeah,
investigators. You don't care.
yeah,
When the demon kid goes to kill the parents, who gives a shit?
yeah,
You don't know these people.
yeah,
In Hill House, whatever happened to them, you're just like,
yeah. You're attached to the, yeah.
and that's the PowerPoint of Hill
Mm.
House. But yeah, Bly Manor's next week. We might finish it today. But first, we're gonna make food.
Ooh, yeah.
Mother of the week.
Do you have one?
I'm thinking.
Me too. I don't know.
Um, By the way, today, like one of my friends texted me Turkey, and I was like, that was so long ago.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was like, wow. Um, Mother of the Week, Mother of the Week. It's Adna's birthday, but you did Adna last time.
Yeah.
That's all. Um, I'm thinking. Oh God.
I don't know either,
Oh
girl.
God. For me, Quinta, the girl who made Abbott Elementary.
Okay.
I told you she started as a BuzzFeed girl, and now she's making her own show. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I've been watching, and you like I'm forcing you to watch it with me.
Man, I love it. It's
I
so
know, but
funny.
it's so funny because you watch like half the show, but like every third episode.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. I just saw an Instagram post that made me rewatch the show entirely. Did he tell you that he's going to fire you? Worse, he mumbled it. I didn't hear
Hear it.
it. And it's a great show, and I'm very much enjoying that. He's
Yeah.
the mother of the week.
I don't know. Nothing like specific with the person happened. I did go back to see my grandpa, and I haven't seen him in a very, very long time. Like, and I mean like a year and a half type thing.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen that man.
I love that you're like, like a year and a half, and I'm like, I've been away to my grandpa's too. Don't you? You
It's,
mentioned your grandpa, and I was like, you have a grandpa?
that's the thing. And it sucks because out of all of my family, I feel like he is the most like nice.
Yeah.
And I
I
felt
have
so
a
good to
similar
see
feeling
him.
to my father's father,
Yeah.
but it's like,
No, and like even
you
that
can't push
whole
it.
side of the family, I've never felt like, because with my grandma on my dad's side, I'm very like, it's a bittersweet thing because like you did raise me and you were there for me and you did a lot for me growing up and like all of these things, but then also you're very like just a bad person.
Yeah.
And then I have like that side that I didn't get to see that often, that I didn't, because my mom didn't have the connection with them
Yeah.
because she was,
Take,
avoiding her own demons.
yeah.
And
And
then
she was taken by your dad,
yeah. And then me going back and seeing them felt really nice. And the kid came down the stairs and it broke my heart. So my um mom's brother,
Mhm.
his kid, and it was his wife and whatever. And he's like 13 now or something,
Yeah.
12, I don't know. And he ran down the stairs to say hi to us because he was doing his homework.
Yeah.
And then he hugged my mom, and then I was like, "Come here!" And then he hugged me so tightly. And then my grandpa goes like, "Do you know her?"
Oh, Jesus.
And then he was like looking around, being so like embarrassed, like a kid. And then he's like, "Well, like that case Mina, like she's the same to you as they are, like
Yeah.
Armeni in essence." And he was like, it broke my heart into a million pieces. And then I went and I like gave him money, and it was so like because he was in his room, and I went up and I was like, "Shh, don't tell them." He's like, and then my mom had to be a bitch about it. It's like I saw it being like funny, like I
Yeah.
saw that, and then his mom comes like, "What did she give you?" And he's like, "Nothing." She didn't give me anything. And it was, I loved seeing
My
that.
problem is I don't do that because I have because I have a connection with my family. Sorry that it sounds.
Yeah.
But I just come with bearing gifts.
Yeah,
Like
like
that. But I can't wait to have like a fucking far away kid, and then
yeah.
I'm just how much did you give him?
20.
Oh, fun.
Mm.
What's he gonna do with that shit, right?
Yeah.
So your grandpa is
Yeah,
mother.
my mother.
Okay,
There you go.
2 hours 2 minutes.
Okay, I thought it would be longer. We're good.
Well, we did hurry up a bit in the end,
Yeah.
but I think I talked about all I want to talk about in the show.
Yeah.
God has nothing on a mother,
God has nothing on him.
and Satan has everything on a father.
Great note to end this.